time for the Chips and Salsa Show.
The only show about Latinos for Latinos. And did we mention Latinos?
It's the Latísima.
Latinos come in all flavors, shapes, and sizes. You don't have to be Latino to enjoy chips and salsa.
Siempre love chips and salsa.
Guess what, boys and girls, chipsters, chipsteros, chipsteras? It is time for the Chips and Salsa Show. My name is Alice Lara. We're here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. We're busting the myth that just because you're brown don't mean you're a Democrat, because we used to be, but we're not anymore. My buddy, my partner in radio crime, Don Jorge, guess what? He had to work today, so he's not here. But we have a very special guest that I've lured in to help me co-host. Since you're here anyway, it's our good old friend, Charlie Ellis. Thank you for coming here.
My pleasure.
He is with, those of you that follow our show, Operation Enduring Gratitude, and has a great radio voice.
Yes, he does.
So he's going to talk about the special event that they're going to have, and also bring us up to date on what's going on with your organization and something really cool that you are doing. I'm so excited about. You guys, you're going to love it. You're going to really love it. So it's a great show. And then in the next segment, we are also going to talk very quickly to Tim Foley. You'll recall Tim Foley, we had him on a few weeks ago with Arizona Border Recon. He's always down at the border, helping the Border Patrol out, volunteer veterans, and they're having a really cool charity benefit concert that we have to tell you about. So that's happening as well. So first, we're going to take care of a little bit of housekeeping and things that are done. Please tell your friends about us. You can share this if you're watching us on Facebook. If you haven't yet, download the free app, the Central City Radio app. Charlie, you may have an old one because we have a newer, updated Central City Radio app you may have to update your phone with. Update. Right on. And the cool thing about that is that's on there. So wherever you are, you can listen to us. Or if you happen to be busy and have a meeting Tuesday at 4 p.m., you can go back later and listen to the show. It's really, really nice and well done. We're also available on iHeartRadio. Thank you to the efforts of the owner, founder, Central City Radio, Julian Allison.
That guy.
Yeah, and helping him, our sound engineer, who is famous now, The Rock, Mr. Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah, helping us, always doing a great job. All right, so I got that out of the way there, and I want to wish happy birthday to my friend Ernie Jimente. Ernie and I graduated from high school together. We're both from Las Cruces. And Ernie's I saw 29? On Facebook. Yes, 29. I know. Thank you. I knew I'd love having you on the show. So happy birthday, Ernie Jimente. We actually grew up in the same barrio, in the same hood. Yeah, I'm very good friends with his sister, who's only like a year apart. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday, Ernie. And we have a couple of things to talk about, maybe, too, that we can. I'm telling you, the story that I'm kind of a little stuck on and people are talking about is the Mr. Rachel story. Okay, so last week, what happened was USA Today decided that Rachel Levine, who was what did we say? He was the Assistant Secretary for
Human Health Services.
Health Services, yes. Right, okay. So happens to be transgender, so man, identifying as a woman. So for purposes that I am comfortable with, that's Mr. Rachel. So Babylon Bee, who is a satirical, and if you follow Facebook at all or anything, Babylon Bee, they really come up with some funny stuff. But it's all, satire. It's all, they make fun of people.
It's like Saturday Night Live used to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be satirical. Poke fun at the current situation, current events, and the political realm, and have fun with it.
Right, and we're supposed to have fun. We got to have humor. With everything going on, you got to have humor. That's human. And so they decided to run something and called Rachel Levine Man of the Year. So they got in trouble with Twitter, and Twitter took them down, man. And they said, no, that's what we do. It was meant to be funny, and we're not going to acquiesce. So what I want to do is I want to give Twitter a cocotazo. Remember what the cocotazos are?
Barely.
So in the Puerto Rican culture, George always explains it, but he's not here. Puerto Rican culture, if you're a kid and you do something stupid or dumb and they knock you in the noggin, that's a cocotazo.
Oh, the head thump.
Right. Don't do that. So I'm giving Twitter a cocotazo for doing that. Okay?
As it should be.
And I'm giving Babylon Bee The whole enchilada, because we
There
also
should.
recognize good stuff. So
Yeah.
that's whole enchilada.
Because, I was talking with a new friend of mine the other day, and I said, the funny thing about free speech is it's only free if you agree with me.
True. Very true.
It's kind of a shame.
And that's not our country.
No.
It's not America, unfortunately. So before you go on to, and really I want you to stay tuned for Tim, because do you follow Oscar Blue?
No.
Okay, Oscar Blue, he is a Mexican national. I think he lives in Tijuana.
Nice.
Wonderful, on the ground reporting. He speaks beautiful, perfect English, and he's right there in the middle of everything. So what he's been reporting on, there's some Ukrainians. There's Ukrainian refugees
Yeah.
that are at the border. You probably are aware of this. And the Mexican government, I believe, is sending in their military. I mean, they're getting serious about this stuff. So I'm going to ask Tim to kind of give us an update about that. But it's a very serious thing. And with all the Ukraine stuff, and, I feel bad for the Ukrainian people. I really do. But there's a lot of stuff going on very close to our borders.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to take care of our own borders first. We'll get to my nonprofit a little bit later, but in the early years, when I'd start telling people about how I cut my teeth doing the things that I do, one of the stories was we used to go down to Agua Prieta, my church, we'd go down to Agua Prieta, and we'd help rebuild houses down there. And then in the discovery of my nonprofit, I started telling people, we don't have to go south of the border anymore. People in this country hurt too. So let's take care of our own first. Charity starts at home, as they say.
Right.
Let's take care of our own, and then let the federal government do their thing. But locally, it's on us.
Mm-hmm. No, you're so right about that. And some of you already are familiar with what Charlie's organization does, but it's always doing some great things. And you can see we have the poster too. So take some time, because we'll be talking about the fundraising side of it as well. But we're always happy to have you on, Charlie, because everybody wants to do something. And when we talk about his organization, if you can't physically help or anything, you can always write a little check.
Yes.
Because little checks always help. Take a bunch of little checks, and those add up all the time.
And we got a twofer concept on your checks. So if you don't like paying taxes, and you like veterans, and you want to support veterans, we have been qualified by the state of Arizona as a qualified charitable organization. You can get dollar-for-dollar tax credits by donating your money to us, your state income taxes, to our organization, and it's the same thing as paying Arizona State Department of Revenue, except we're a little more efficient with your money than they are.
That's fantastic. And Charlie is a veteran himself.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you go ahead and give your background?
Oh, the whole thing or just pieces?
A little bit. I think we just have a minute or so.
I'm 10 years with the Arizona Army National Guard. My family's military background is very wide and very deep, all the way back to, I don't know how we are. We're family. We all
World War II, probably, at least.
Well,
at least.
There's rumors that one of us was running guns for Pancho Villa. So we go
could
way
be, because
back.
you got the Latino heritage
See?
there, right? Mexican.
See? And, my nana, she died, I think she was 93 or something.
Wow.
That was quite a while ago, so we've been here before Arizona was part of the nation. So
Good. Nice.
we're
Did
the
you ever
original
get
Mexicans.
the skinny
Yeah.
from her on that?
Yeah.
Oh, those stories. Those are awesome. All right. So what we're going to do, we are going to take a little break here real quick. I'm going to get Tim Foley from Arizona Border Recon on the phone during the commercial break. We come back, we'll talk to him, get up to date on the border and his benefit. But we got a great show. I'm so glad that you tuned in. And we have Charlie Ellis with Operation Enduring Gratitude. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Alice Lada, and you are listening or watching the Chips and Salsa Show here on Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix. Don't go away, because we got to guac on some more. Muchas gracias.
Sin salsa.
Well, sir, while I may not agree with what you say, I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
And we are back. This is the Chips and Salsa Show. We're here every Tuesday. What day?
This day.
What day is this? Tuesday at 4 p.m. here on Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix. And I'm Alice Lada, and co-hosting, helping me co-host, and also my special guest today is Charlie Ellis. This guy here.
Today going by Carlos.
And this is perfect, because our guest is calling in now, because he was at the airport. Hello, Tim. How are you?
Oh, well, smooth flowing through TSA.
All right.
We're
So
good.
we just came back on the air, so your timing is perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that follow our show, we're talking to Tim Foley. Tim Foley is with Arizona Border Recon, and he's always bringing us up to date on the border. And we've got a special event to talk about today. So let's see. First, I just want to ask you real quick about. Do you have a couple minutes? You're good with the airport, right?
Yeah, I got plenty of time.
Okay, awesome, great. All right. Well, let's talk about the event first, for sure, because that's really the main reason we have you on. And then I want to ask you about those Ukrainians at our border, if you can give us an update, maybe. I know you follow things.
I haven't seen the Ukrainians in my area, but I just came out of a week.
A second day.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to that after the fundraiser.
All right, awesome. Well, there's a charity benefit concert happening on March 26th at Dillon's Ranch, and you guys are putting it on, right?
This is the Valley's.
Actually, it's a group out of Oregon that's putting it on that I met in Salsa and Tampa and sat down and talked with them. They're an organization called the Citizens for Liberty, and they contacted me and said, "Hey, we'd like to help you out." So they're the ones who put it all together, and I'm just phenomenal that out of Oregon that they care about what's happening on the border. And because I explained to them back then, and almost a year ago, that it was getting worse, and now it's insane down there. And I'll get into that in a bit, but so they're putting it on. It's going to go from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. We have bands. We have speakers. There's going to be a gentleman there named Johnny Walker. And if people don't know who he is, he's an Iraqi interpreter who's done about 1,000 missions with the Navy SEALs. And he's been down with us on the border, and he's also loves our idea of our nonprofit to build a veterans retreat down there that we're slowly plugging away on, but it takes time. And so we're going to have him, and then our favorite candidate running for Congress, Luis Pizzolo, he's going to be there. And Luis is phenomenal. I mean, if anybody can beat Raul Grijalva, it's it. So,
Tim, I don't know if I told you, but Charlie is also here with Operation Enduring Gratitude. So, in case you hear another voice, you'll be like, "Who is that, Alice? Who's there?" That's not George. But Luis is fantastic. In fact, we're trying to get him. He's going to be here in Phoenix next week for something, and we're going to try to get him maybe to come in the studio again, because we talked to him a few weeks ago. But you're absolutely right on that.
He is a busy man. He goes to Yuma and walks and knocks on doors. He goes to Nogales. He goes to, he's hitting everywhere. And, the beauty of Luis is he's a legal immigrant. He's a family man. And he started 2 businesses from scratch. And he's doing very well, And like myself, he goes, I don't need to do this. I got everything I want. But somebody has to do it. And that's why I started Arizona Border Recon, And so I love his attitude. He's come down a couple of times to go out with us to see what we see, and he's phenomenal. I love him. He's a great guy.
Well, it's worth it to go see him speak. And of course, you're going to be a speaker too, so that's you have a great event here, and I see that it's 37839 West Grand Avenue in Morristown, Arizona. Which, have you been to Morristown, Charlie?
No, I have not.
No, I don't think I have either. But
it's just before you get to Wickenburg.
Oh, okay.
I've driven through it.
Yeah, that's.
It's a beautiful venue. There's 13 acres, so there's plenty of room, and we're going to have speakers, we're going to have bands, plus the place is a barbecue joint, so there'll be barbecue.
That's right. I've been there once before.
You have been there?
Yeah, Vets for Vets.
So I'm showing Unchanged, Backstage Crew, Last Train to Juarez. I'm presuming that's a band, maybe? Or is it the last train to Juarez? Nice.
And then, we'll have Ann Vandersteel. She's a investigative journalist. And they started their own media, which is called Steel Truth. She's been following us for 2.5, 3 years now. And so it's going to be good.
Oh, you know who else I recognize over here? Gene Ho. Isn't he that photographer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And, so it'll be interesting. We'll even have swag for sale. I got printed up a bunch of T-shirts and fridge magnets and stickers and stuff.
And this is free, or do you have to pay for tickets, or what?
Hold on, they're doing it over loudspeaker. Do that again, please.
This is a free event, or do you have to buy tickets for it?
Yeah, it's a free event, and if you want to donate, you can donate. You want to buy some gear, you can buy some gear, and we don't.
Great.
I always feel bad, I don't know why, that people say, you ought to do stuff like this, and it's like, to me, it's begging for money, and I don't like to beg, and so, but, in the past month, I just spent another close to $9,000 on gear, and that comes out of my pocket. So I'm well over $200,000 of my own money into this, and we could use the help.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The gas going the way it's going.
And tell the audience, for those of you that this might be the first time they're hearing about Arizona Border Recon, just real quick, tell them what you guys do.
Basically, Arizona Border Recon is also a licensed intelligence gathering company within the state of Arizona. So for the past, we're going into our 13th year. We monitor everything that's happening on the border, with trail cams, and then going out. We monitor the cartel movements. We monitor where the human smuggling is coming through, the dope smuggling, and we pass that along to entities that want to know. And it's pretty sad that now with Mallorca running DHS, that they've pretty much told CBP and anybody else, don't listen to them, don't talk to them, don't get near them, don't do anything. And it's like, really? You guys are outnumbered, you're outgunned, you could use all the help you can get. But,
And you guys are all volunteers and mostly veterans, right?
Yes, ma'am. Most of my guys have combat experience, and being veterans, a lot of people want to do what we do. I mean, Luis, he came out, and I told him, I says, we're going to go up this mountain, because from this mountain I should be able to see both opposing forces of the cartels who are battling it out in the area. And he got to the top of the mountain, he looked at it, he goes, holy cow. He said, I need to get in shape because you guys, you just kicked my butt.
I bet.
But, it's brutal terrain, and it is what we classify as no man's land.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. We were in there, like I said, we just came out last week. We were in there for a little over a week, and we didn't see one Border Patrol agent because of what's happening down there on the line. But
you did not see one Border Patrol agent?
No one. No. The closest we're seeing Border Patrol now is like 5 to 8 miles from the border, unless they're over in the flatlands by Sassabee, where all the women and children are just pouring through the holes. And so they have to go after the body, which leaves, this huge swath of rugged, brutal terrain for them to get through with, dope and bad guys. So that's where we go.
Man. Well, before we let you go, give us an update of what's going on down there, maybe something that our audience would be interested in knowing.
Okay, let's see. Last week, an RV got pulled over, and they did a walk around with the dog, and there was 990 pounds of drugs in it.
Oh, my God.
800 pounds of meth, 190 pounds of fentanyl, the high-speed chases down in our area almost daily. And then, when we were out there, we got 41 bad guys that are all in camouflage and everything else. We got 41 in one day. And that was the high number, because once they figure out you're there, they start trying to figure other ways in. But it's a mess. I mean, since the beginning of the fiscal year in October, we're already over 1 million that have come through. And that's not counting the gotaways to the areas like where we're at. It's insane. It's getting worse by the day.
Well, we pray and we hope, but it sure gets frustrating. You turn on the news, and I seldom hear anything about the border, and it makes me so angry, Tim.
Well, look at the convoy in D.C. They're still there, but there's not a peep about them.
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you, Charlie?
Yeah, the convoy's still up in D.C., doing circles around D.C. And, there's not a peep. They tell you what they want you to know, not what is actually happening. So it's all, now it's Ukraine, Russia, but they're not telling people the whole story behind that. So,
well, I can't.
You're never going to find out what's really going on unless you do some digging and researching.
And that's why we like to talk to you, Tim, because we find out what's actually happening down there, and we can't thank you enough for your efforts. So before I let you go, I just want to announce again, this is the charity benefit concert to help out Arizona Border Recon, and that's going to be on March 26th. Today's the 22nd, so I think that's Saturday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's going to be in Morristown at 37839 West Grand Avenue. We'll share this on our Facebook page. And if you want more information, I have that you can email capital C, capital R, capital L, Liberty, so CR Liberty, at protonmail.com. Come on out, bring the family. It's free. We're going to try to get out there. Charlie, maybe you guys can get out there. I know you've got busy stuff going on too. Even if you just come out, say hi. And if you can't do that, write these guys a check, send them a few bucks. They do so much. And I know, Tim, you've spent so much money, and you're not the only one. And you are doing such wonderful, good work for our country.
We have on the Give, Send, Go. We have a place, because all the other platforms have banned us. PayPal,
that's a badge of honor.
All them. Only Give, Send, Go will allow us on their site for donations.
That's a badge of honor. So once again, that's at Dillon's Ranch. Go and support Arizona Border Recon. Tim, thank you so much for being on. I know you're at the airport, and I appreciate you taking time out to do that. Next time you're in town, or anytime, call us, give us an update. Make a bunch of money, have a wonderful, great event, and thank you so much for being on today. Take care of yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
My pleasure.
Thanks, Tim. Bye-bye. So that's Tim Foley, Arizona Border Recon. You can find him on Facebook, or his website is the same, ArizonaBorderRecon.com. And he's just a great guy, just like my buddy Charlie here too. It's, my thing is, we have no border reports.
Yep.
It's like, oh, nothing's happening. We just care about Ukraine.
Yeah, the other guys.
And meanwhile, it's horrible. All those drugs, and 990 pounds.
Yeah, it's insane. And that's just the one that got caught.
Right. That's what we know about, and they got caught. You're right. Everything else that's coming into our country, and people every day. I was watching some statistics, and they were talking about the deaths that have been caused by drugs. And we don't need that, especially a lot of our veterans that have returned and they've got some drug issues. They don't need that either.
Nope.
It's horrendous. It really is horrendous. So that's why we try to highlight and bring good groups like yours, and Charlie's included, Operation Enduring Gratitude. All right, guys, we've got probably getting ready for a break. Okay, we're a minute. So I don't want you guys to go away. We're going to bring Charlie's sister, who's your treasurer, right?
She is helping us with our books. Excuse me. And she's also the chairperson of our golf tournament.
Fantastic. So we're going to tell you all about that and get up to date on Operation Enduring Gratitude. And if you have any questions, I'm going to have my Facebook page up. So go to the Facebook page, ask me, or if you know me, text me with a question. It's all good. But don't go away, because we'll be right back with our Chips and Salsa show. And I messed the mic up, so hopefully you can still hear me. And my name is Alice Lara here, co-hosting, and my special guest today is...
This guy, Charlie Ellis.
Charlie Ellis with Operation Enduring Gratitude. And we'll be right back with more of the Chips and Salsa show to guac on here on Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix. Don't go away. Please stay.
You're listening to Talk Central Phoenix.
Okay, what are you wearing?
We kept talking about Luis Pozzolo.
Correct.
So he's going to actually be in town. ASRA, the West Valley chapter, is going to be having a meeting on April 5th. So we wanted to extend the invitation from our good friend Sid de la Fuente. You remember Sid? Did you? Sid, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So he's helping ASRA now out with their Latino outreach. And he's the West chapter president. And he wanted to invite everybody to this meeting. So it's a meeting on April 5th at the West Valley Republican Headquarters, 10050 West Bell Road in Sun City. The doors open at 6. The meeting starts at 6:30. They're going to have Luis Pozzolo. He's a candidate for Congressional District 7. So come and hear his great story and his fight to give back a country that gave him freedom and opportunity. So we hope that you can make it. And I see on here, too, Steve Montenegro is going to be a guest, and Steve is actually going to be our guest here on the Chips and Salsa show next week, so that's kind of good timing. And you know Steve.
I do. He endorsed my candidacy for city council.
That's right. When are you going to run for something again?
I'm running for my life.
You're running for your life. And you're doing a very good job with that.
Thank you.
All right, so now we want to devote the rest of the show to Operation Enduring Gratitude, which, how old is Operation Enduring Gratitude now?
April 28, 2014 was the official filing for the charter.
Wow, you know what's cool about that? We started our show October 2014. That was a good year, right?
It was a very good year. So we are wrapping up year 8, getting ready to roll into year 9.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So for the benefit of someone who hasn't heard about what this is, give them the little brief, wonderful explanation. Salute.
Well, Operation Enduring Gratitude came out of a genesis of working with another nonprofit in the West Valley, Phoenix, Arizona. And while we were remodeling a neighborhood lady's house at the celebration, I asked the founder of that organization, when are we going to do something like this for the veterans in the West Valley? And he says, well, you haven't started it. And I forgot the rule of the military, don't ask a question unless you want to do it. So here we are. 0 regrets, rolling into 9 years, and our primary mission is extreme home makeovers. That was where we started this. We've got 8 of them under our belt. We're on number 9 right now, the second largest one in total. We've done over 80 wheelchair ramps, majority of those out of concrete. Those are my personal juice. Those are the ones that I just pure energy. Our last big event, we did 11 wheelchair ramps. We were scattered over 3 cities. We had 75 volunteers, 4 different construction companies assisting us. We poured 133,650 pounds of concrete, and we were eating lunch by 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Fantastic.
3 of those locations that we served were not other nonprofits. Wow. So our goal was not only our primary goal is to serve the disabled, underprivileged, I hate that word, financially strapped veterans, the people that have defended this country. One of the things that we struggle with, we see, is the hurting of the veterans. I believe that the community as a large is under the misconception that if the veteran's hurting, the VA can take care of them. And that's not always accurate, and that's not always the VA's problem, and it's not always the veteran's problem, because there's a divide in there. And I don't know why that, well, I got my opinions, but I don't have to work with the VA, so I don't have an accurate opinion. But I know there's struggles. Anytime you get a conglomerate working with an individual, there will always be a struggle, regardless of who they are. So we stepped in, and we've been full throttle ahead. We've actually got a little money in the bank account, which is an incredible rarity for us.
Great. Tony will attest to that.
Yes, she will. She's helping cleaning up all the paperwork, getting things in line. God bless her, because she has to deal with this guy, and that's not an easy task. So it's one of me and 5 of them victims. Those victims are my board members. They're awesome. We've gone through a world of struggle through COVID, and we stayed together, and we're still kicking Can I say it?
You can say it because,
It's internet, baby.
There you
We're
go.
kicking ass. We really are. We've accomplished tremendous things for a little upstart nonprofit that just had a vision and no money. People are gravitating towards us. We have a pretty decent anchor in the community. People know who we are out here. We just need to keep doing more and do it better. And one of those keys is we use a golf tournament to, A, spread the word, bring in the money, and keep the energy high, very high. So that's one of the reasons we're here, is to talk about our golf tournament.
And this is an annual thing. You just started it, second year?
This is our second annual golf tournament. This tournament will happen annually, beginning of April. Yeah.
First part.
Don't know why I choked on that one, but the goal is going to be April 1st every year. And the mindset on that is we're going to call this a twofer as far as writing checks. Most people don't trust their local government in expending their money.
Sure.
So one of the things that the Arizona State Legislature did that was perfect, it could be more perfect if they raised the numbers, if there's such a thing as more perfect. They rarely do anything perfect. They do a lot of good.
We can give them credit for this one. You're right.
This one is
You're right.
perfect. And I'm going to jump in front of the line by saying that through the charitable tax contributions, you can make a dollar-to-dollar tax credit donation if you pay income tax in the state of Arizona. You can write that check to our organization, and it's the same thing as writing it to the Arizona Department of Revenue, only we're a little more efficient with that money. But not just us. I do like to preach for us, but there are other local areas. I teach at high school. You want to write a check to my high school?
And we're coming up on a break. And what he's saying, essentially, this money, it'll be directed where you want it directed, and the governor's not going to.
Correct.
Right. So when we come back, we're going to hit that up again and explain that more thoroughly to our audience.
Excellent.
Because some people still don't know about it, believe it or not.
It's complicated.
So we will. So I'm Alice Lara. You are.
Charlie Ellis.
And we also have Tony, the sister, working here with us,
My
too.
big sister.
And we'll be right back with more of the Chips and Salsa Show here on Central City Radio Talk Central Phoenix, talking about Operation Enduring Gratitude. Don't go away, because we'll be right back.
This is the Valley's news talk and podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix, a central...
Anything.
My big sister, Tony.
Thank you for being here. And Tony reminded us, you know what we didn't do, because this is how you can register for the golf tournament. Let's give out your
Amateurs.
website.
Website address is www.oegaz.org.
Very nice.
Yes.
Now, the last segment, when I had to cut you off a little bit, we were talking about something that the Arizona legislature has done very well. They passed a law, and it helps you direct your hard-earned tax money that you pay. And the way you do it is you have to do it before tax day, right?
Correct.
And I think the limit's 500?
400 per person, 800 for a couple.
Okay.
I
So
think if you just say 400 a person, it pretty much is clear right there. But
So let's say I said, you know what? I really want to help out Operation Enduring Gratitude, and I want to give them $200. How should I do that?
First step, go to the website, send us an email. From that email, we can give you our charitable contribution number. Qualified charitable is QCO.
Okay.
We have a number for that. Call us, we'll get you that. You write the check to us, put that in your notes down at the bottom, put it on your tax return form. Make sure you run this through your tax preparer so it's done proper, because if you're taking tax advice from me, you get what you pay for. So don't do that. But run it through your tax advisor, because not everybody owes state income tax. And it's state income, it's not federal taxes. But it is a way to move money out of the state control into your local charities. Almost every school in the state of Arizona does this as well. And I'll deviate just mildly here. There was a year, 2010 I think it was, when the Arizona governor whacked $190 million out of public education. When I was running for city council in the city of Phoenix District 1, I made a comment that with the amount of people living in District 5, that the amount of people living in District 5 alone, if they all exercised that, they would put $75 million into District 5's public education.
Wow.
One city district. Let that one sink in.
That's
where
powerful.
the legislator was right. And they're rarely right. They're close, and they're not close. But that one was as close to perfect as 90 individuals can be.
I love it because how many people, you're not always happy with how your tax dollars are spent. Face it. You can't, and you can't make everybody happy. I get that. That's why we try to elect as good as people as possible to do that. But this is really cool because that way these are your tax dollars and they're going to an organization that you know about and you trust. I mean, what could be better than that? And it's a $400 limit. So if you have $400, you could even give $400.
And if you're married.
Yeah, you're going to owe it to the government. It's going there anyway. So
and it's a
why not
tax
direct it to someplace you want it to be?
It's a tax credit, not a deduction. Big difference. Talk to your tax preparer for it. But if you're a married couple, write a $400 check to Operation Enduring Gratitude, and then write another $400 check to West Meck School District, tag it to the construction program so I can teach my kids how to build and do community services.
I am so excited about this. I just learned about this today. This is kind of like your Mike Rowe experience. This is really cool. Your background also is construction.
I'm a licensed general contractor.
Mm-hmm. Right. And they've got you doing this is so cool. Tell the audience about what you're doing now.
Right now, I was formerly on the board of directors for West Meck School District. The construction program has been vacant for the last couple of years. This year, when I found out that it was vacant, I reached out to my superintendent and asked what the qualifications were for.
Well, let me ask you first, before it's vacant, they just decided they didn't want to do it anymore? No one to run it? What's the deal?
No, the biggest problem with teaching is pay.
Mm-hmm.
In my industry, I can walk out this door, I can fire up my license. It's an active license, but I don't use it except for my nonprofit. I could pull in $100,000 a year, blindfolded.
Okay.
So why would I do that to take a part-time teaching job?
Okay.
And this is where the mindset of certain people need to be adjusted. That payroll for career technical is different than for the reading teachers. Now, those individuals need a pay raise as well because God bless them. If I had a special ed reading teacher who taught me how to read from 2nd grade to 6th grade, and I mention that to my students. I don't hide my educational deficiencies from my students, so I think that makes them feel more comfortable. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I teach construction. I have a unique capacity to blend my public education without pulling public education dollars over to my nonprofit. And so what I mean by that is we had a phase at school where we were teaching masonry. So we're teaching students how to put mortar on bricks and build block walls, make them straight, make them flat, make them level. And at the end, I approached the group that was assisting in this education. They're called Arizona Masonry Council. Phenomenal guys. Shout out to Brian Gray, outstanding 3rd generation Mason. Love the family. I asked him, and his boss, Cassie Mejia, she's the executive that runs that organization. I said, can we take my students off the campus to one of my nonprofit homes where we're tearing out some windows? And everybody said yes. I ran it through the administration. Everybody green-lighted it. We went out and we did this. It was a one-day program. And the key to that is it costs the students nothing, costs taxpayers nothing, costs the nonprofit nothing. The industry needs employees, so the industry supported this. So this is wonderful.
Great experience. The kids got to learn. Awesome. That's fantastic. And please, if you have some young kids, is this a certain age group? High school, right?
High school students. My youngest is 14. He's a homeschooler.
Sweet.
And we've had a couple students turn 18 already.
And that's West Meck. Right?
Western Maricopa Education Center.
WEST MEC. Okay, so that's fantastic. I'm so happy you're doing that. Let's talk a little bit more about the golf tournament because we're going to run out of time if we don't. Tell us where it is, how to register.
April 1st. It's a Friday this year. It's going to be held at the Traditions Golf Course in Surprise, Arizona. If you go to our website, click on the link for the golf tournament, all details are there. Ticket prices are located. We still have room for sponsorships.
Yeah.
The website address is www.oegaz.org.
Nice.
And
So
if you want to
can-
see past information, hashtag golfing with gratitude.
Sweet. Are you going to be playing in the tournament?
No, we work this thing.
You got to work that thing.
gotta
Somebody's
work-
got to work that thing.
I got to earn the right to golf. One of my best friends, he ran his golf tournament in the West Valley for almost 12 years before he actually picked up a club and played.
Oh my goodness. Well, the weather's going to be great. I think we've been having some fantastic
Yes.
weather. And if you can't golf or you can't make it, you can send a donation. They'll take
Donations,
that.
come on out.
Absolutely.
Help us out. We need volunteers. Go to the website. You can sign up as volunteers on the website so we can get you information on our next project when we're doing stuff. It's big community-wide involvement.
You meet a lot of great people.
Yes, we do.
I can't say enough about your organization. And the thing is, too, I always think our veterans, we owe them everything. And you're so right. For whatever reason, if it's political or, like you say, it could be on both sides, the veteran side or the hospital or whoever's trying to help them and things. And I always think, they should be taken care of. They should just be taken care of. But it doesn't happen. And there have to be, unfortunately, a lot of groups like yours, but you get the job done. And I can't thank you enough for doing that.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
It's a privilege. There's no two ways around it. There's no reason that I should be doing this. I don't have any accolades that says, oh, you're the right guy.
You're supposed to.
I had a truck and a hammer and an idea, and here we are.
Do I have like 30 seconds to say a quick story about Charlie? Okay. So I always like to tell this story. My boss was trying to get rid of this big giant conference table, okay? And I said, oh man, who could use this thing? Because, a lot of organizations won't pick it up. They won't. They're like, oh, we got to do it. And we're like on the 10th floor. So I said, oh, whatever Charlie's. I call up Charlie. He comes there, okay? You're a strong dude, man. He got that table by himself, took downstairs, loaded up in his truck, and took it away. And I tell you that story because that's how devoted Charlie is for that. He really is. I mean,
what size
I
table
would've
was
done
that?
How many?
It was a conference table for 14 people.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how he did it. And I couldn't help.
It would have been easier to roll it over the balcony and land it in the back of the
We
truck.
thought about that, remember? If we get some rope and just put it there on the side.
We got her.
Good. Tony, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Hope to see you again. You have to come back maybe a little bit later and tell us how successful the tournament was and what you're doing next, what kind of projects you have.
We will.
We've got a couple Hollywood ones going.
Right on.
Ford and Arrowhead Harley. And we just got, is it PXG?
PXG's giving us $1,500 back. I think it's $1,500. Very high expensive set of golf clubs and
Sweet.
bag. Come on out.
Ford and Harley.
Sweet. It is worth
And
checking it
Goodwill.
out.
It's American. So PXG's owned by Bob Parson, United States Marine Corps. Hoorah. Ford Motor Company, Harley Davidson's all American, baby. Come on
Sweet.
out. Let's play.
And thank you
And
both for
Goodwill.
your service, Army,
Army.
Ooh-ah.
and UWA, and everybody out there too. Thank you. Okay, we will be back next Tuesday. Our guest will be Steve Montenegro, and we're going to have you guys back soon afterwards. Please check out the golf tourney. And this has been Charlie Ellis with
Operation Enduring Gratitude.
Thank you, Tony, for coming in. I'm Alice Lara with the Chips and Salsa Show here on Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Have a fantastic, great week. Guac on.